You want the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
You can't handle the truth!
Well, we're giving you the Michigan Sports Truth, the show that reveals facts, truth, research, and statistics and never messes around. We lay down the entire truth about everything regarding your Detroit and Michigan sports teams, no matter if it's good or bad. No junk, no entertainment, no homerism, no coddling, no pop culture, no opinions, no shilling, and no fluff. Head over to our website at MichiganSportsTruth.com, follow us on Twitter at Michigan_Truth, and like our Facebook page, The Michigan Sports Truth. The hosts of the Michigan Sports Truth podcast do not take any suggestions or criticism from any member of its audience on how it should be run. It is up to the host to decide what they want to cover. They also do not intend to be any amount of popular in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Additionally, the views of the audience, right or wrong, do not reflect the actual truth revealed on this program.
And welcome to the Tigers at Red Sox postgame edition for Thursday, May 7, 2018. Also listen to us on Spreaker, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts via iTunes. Tigers win 7-2 at Fenway Park in Boston against the Red Sox. Okay, it was a shocker, but it doesn't mean much. It was a fluke. Tigers slapdick fans everywhere think that isn't a fluke because they think their team is fun to watch and is also good enough to make the playoffs and clinch the American League Comedy Central Division standings. They're going to be hilariously dead wrong. We want the Tigers to tank all the way back down just to make their clumsy owner Chris Ilitch sell them and the Red Wings. That's it. They score 5 runs in the first inning. Boyd was being Matt Boyd. 6 in the third innings, 2 earned runs, 4 hits, 4 walks, 6 strikeouts. I don't know who this Beeks guy is, but he was awful from the get-go. 4 innings pitched, 6 earned runs, 7 hits, 3 walks, 4 Ks. Tigers improved to 30-34. Still 4 games back of the Cleveland Indians, who are now 32-28 in the AL Comedy Central Division. Still in second place, but they're three spots back of the wild card spots, but 8.5 games back of those wild card spots. They still have a long way to go, no matter how few spots the Tigers are back of those wild card spots. They're home against the Cleveland Indians. Those Cleveland Indians, Friday at 7:10. Trevor Bauer and Michael Fulmer. We'll go at it. That should be a good one. There's actually no other news to report in terms of any of our teams in the state of Michigan, so I'm going to do this.
It's now time for the National Sports Report with Louis Tenore.
Take it away.
All right, away we go. All right, we'll start off, of course, with the baseball scores as usual, and we read like this. As we just mentioned, the Tigers over the Red Sox 7-2. Boyd got the win, and Beeks got the loss. Final 10 innings, the Blue Jays over the Orioles 5-4. Barnes got the win, and Castro got the loss. Continuing on the line here, Mariners over the Rays 5-4. Leak got the win, and Pruitt got the loss. Game in progress right now in the bottom of the 7th. The Astros are leading the Rangers 4-1. 1 out and a runner on first. Harris is pitching, and Guzman is at bat. Reds over the Rockies 7-5 in 13 innings. Bloro got the win, and Rouston got the loss. Close one that we had today is the Dodgers edged the Pirates 8-7. Baez got the win, Talon got the loss, and Jansen got the save. Twins over the White Sox 7-2. Barrios got the win, and Shields got the loss. Cardinals over the Marlins 4-1. Mikolas got the win, Richards got the loss, and Norris got the save. The the Cubs edged the Phillies 4-3. Doomsing got the win. Hedeva got the loss, and Morrow got the save. And right now, at the end of 2, it's 0-0 between the Royals and the Athletics. Escobar, Torres, and Murfield are due up at bat when we get to the top of the third. Alright, so now we're taking care of that. Let's take care of the standings. And they read like this. And leading off in the American League East, as we usually do. Right now, well, the Red Sox still have the lead. It's 43-20, but it's only a half-game lead now over the Yankees at 40-18. They had the day off today. The rest belong in a sewer, as the Rays are 14 back at 28-33. The Blue Jays are 15.5 back at 27-35, and the Orioles in the basement at 19-42. In the AL Central, the Indians are 32-28, have a 4-game lead with the Tigers at 30-34. Twins are 27-32, 4.5 back. The Royals are 21-41, 12 back. Also 12 back are the White Sox, but they are 20-40. All right. Oh, by the way, the Blue Jays won on a walk-off single by Anthony Diaz. All right. Just looking at the side note here. The West, the Mariners, 39-23, have a game and a half lead over the Astros at 38-25. The Angels are 4.5 back at 35-28. And the Rangers are 27-37 at 13 back. All right, let's go to the West. As the Nationals are 35-25. Actually, it's a virtual tie right here between the Nationals and the Braves. The Nationals are 35-26, and the Braves are 36-26. But the Nationals have a percentage lead by just 2 points, 583 to 581. Hey, it doesn't get any closer than that, folks. Much. Oof. Phillies 3 back at 32-28. The Mets 7.5 back, 27-32. Now have lost 6 in a row. And the Marlins are still the Marlins at 22-40, 14 back. Need I say more? Central, Brewers, the surprise team of the year in this division, 37-25, have a half-game lead over the Cubs at 35-24. Cubs, 33-27, 3 back. The Pirates, 6 back at 37-31, and the Reds, 15.5 back at 22-41. In the West, the D-backs are 32-29, have a half-game lead over the Rockies at 32-30. Dodgers, 31-31, game and a half back, moving up. And the Capitals have just tied the game. It is now 3-3 in the third period with 10 minutes to go. All right. That's a game and a half back. They're really doing better in more recent games. The Giants are also 31-31, a game and a half back, and Padres are 4.5 back at 29-35. A little weak of a division here. All right, so let's check the schedule for tomorrow's games, and they read like this for your June 8th. Wow. All right, leading off, we do have one day game. Naturally, it's the Cubs, of course, and the Pirates will take on the Cubs at 2:20. It's unusual for starting in Chicago. Your nighttime games start with the 7:05 games as the Giants take on the Nationals at 7:05, as well as the Brewers and the Phillies. 7:07, the Orioles will take on the Blue Jays. Your 7:10 games. Oh, we got Sluke in here, folks. Ready? Here we go. Leading off, White Sox take on the Red Sox. Indians take on the Tigers. Cardinals take on the Reds. Yankees take on the Mets. Padres take on the Marlins. And the Seahawks take on the Rays. All those games at 7:10. 8:05. The Astros take on the Rangers. 8:10. The Angels take on the Twins. 8:40. D-backs take on the Rockies. 10:05. Royals take on the Athletics. And at 10:10, the Braves battle the Dodgers. All right. Of course, there'll be other scores coming up. I have a few women's basketball games, if no reminds here. The Minnesota Lynx beat the Washington Mystics 88-80 earlier today, and the Connecticut Sun beat the Liberty 88-86 in sort of a rivalry game, New York versus Connecticut. And at 9:04 in the first, the Seattle Storm beat the LA Sparks, but that game was just getting underway just a minute in, so we don't have to worry about that much right now. They just mentioned the Capitals have just tied the game against the Golden Knights 3-3 with just under 10 minutes now to go in the third period. Vegas needs this game to stay alive, or the Capitals become the champs. If not, Game 6 will be Sunday night at about 7:30. And it's put up or shut up time for the Cavaliers as they now trail 3-0 in this series against the Warriors. I did not expect that at all. I expected more of a fight from them. But tomorrow is Game 4, and that game's to be at 9 o'clock tomorrow on ABC. And my partner had some comments here, which I'll get to later on. But I mean, it's just been a very shocking performance by the team here.
By the Warriors?
Well, that Cleveland has not won a game yet, so that's the sad part.
Shocking underperformance, I'd then.
Well, underperformance by Cleveland, that is.
Yeah.
Okay, women's French Open final. Halp versus Stevens in the women's French Open final. That'll be on Saturday. Continuing on. And there's more news here. Sport betting in the Garden State is now in the hands of Governor Phil Murphy's hands. The New Jersey Assembly and Senate today passed a bill that would legalize sports betting at the state's casinos and racetracks, pending approval by Governor Murphy. The Assembly voted a whopping 73-0 in favor of legislation, and the Senate followed up with its own overwhelming vote of 37-0. Governor Murphy has 45 days to act on the bill. New Jersey's Monmouth Racetrack is ready to begin if Governor Murphy does sign the legislation, and the Borgata in Atlantic City, which I'm familiar with, says it will also begin taking wagers as soon as regulations are put in place. The state of New Jersey bought all the major leagues, including the MLB, NFL, NBA, NHL, and the NCAA as well, in a 6-year battle that began in 2012 and was accepted by the U.S. Supreme Court last June. On May 14th, the Supreme Court ruled in favor of New Jersey and declared the PSAP Act of 1992, the federal ban, was unconstitutional, opening a path for states to legalize sports betting. I wonder who's the loser in that one. Del Porter and Nadal will meet in the men's semifinal French Open. That is tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, which is about 5 o'clock in Paris. All right, continuing on here. Former Patriots wide receiver Julian Edelman is bearing a 4-game suspension for violating the NFL's policy on performance-enhancing substances. League sources told ESPN today the suspension is currently under appeal as Edelman has taken hundreds of tests and has yet to have tested positive on any of them. If he were to be suspended, It'd be the first 4 games of the season, and he would forfeit $470,588. The Patriots' first 4 games are Houston, which is at home, followed by 2 road games at Jacksonville and Detroit, and Miami at home. Edelman was taking part in OTAs and minicamp, is returning from an ACL injury which he suffered in the preseason of 2017 that forced him to miss all of last season, and he is entering his 10th season in the league this year. Appeals are not won very often, though there have been some rare cases, like Richard Sherman, who won his appeal back in 2012 as a member of the Seahawks. Gets away with murder. The current policy related to performance-enhancing drugs is expected to be brought up during the next CBA, the collective bargaining agreement, which runs through 2021. Terrell Owens, who was selected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, will not attend the induction ceremony. He has made the announcement today. Owens said, though, he is very grateful. He said, I have publicly made the decision not to attend the ceremony in Canton and celebrate elsewhere. Where Owens has let the Hall of Fame know that about his intentions, and added that he will announce where and when he will celebrate at a later date. And, okay, Washington just took the lead again. Now it's 4-3, 7-3, 7 to go. This is getting good. This is getting good. Anywho, I'll get back to that in a little bit. Hall of Fame President Dave Baker said, "We are disappointed that Owens will not attend the ceremony, but does respect his decision and will make no further comment on this issue at hand." I say, well, my colleagues were saying, if you get it, you should. You should attend. Otherwise, they think that they have the right to fine him. But yet, take this for instance. If a player who's going to be selected into the NFL draft and doesn't show up, but yet they don't punish them for that. So I don't know if there's very much of a difference. Some may argue that there is, but isn't it kind of on the same lines? All right. Well, here's an item that comes as no surprise. As Brian Colangelo steps down as president of basketball operations for the 76ers. The announcement was made early this morning by the team. Coach Brett Brown will take over on an intern basis. The move comes after the story by the Ringer brought to light by the possibility that Colangelo had multiple anonymous Twitter accounts that were used to prop himself and criticize current as well as former Sixers players. Hard to believe that Colangelo was a 2-time NBA executive of the year. And his wife, Barbara Bernardi, had been involved in the postings of the tweets from what is known as burner accounts. An investigation by the Sixers led the team to believe Colangelo did not establish the accounts on Twitter or post contents of the accounts, according to a statement from the law firm that conducted the investigation. The investigation supported the conclusion that Bonetti established the accounts and posted the concept, which interviewed Bonetti admitting establishing and operating the accounts and forensic evidence of her admissions. However, the investigation also revealed that substantial evidence that Colangelo was the source of non-sensitive, non-public related information contained in certain posts to the Twitter accounts. Eesh. Is that ugly or what? Alright. And we got 6:09 to go here. Alright, okay. Last night in the Game 3, Warriors over the Caps, 110-102, taking commanding lead. Kevin Durant scored 43 points, while James scored a triple-double of 33 points, 10 boards, and 11 assists. And one of beat the dunk you ever imagined. Okay. And Andre Iguodala was cleared, of course, to play for Game 3 last night. All right. Eagles safety Malcolm Jenkins made his statement to Eagles being disinvited to the White House without even saying a word. One day after the Eagles had been scheduled to visit the White House, Jenkins responded with the death signs yesterday and stood in silence as a large crowd of reporters gathered and continued to ask questions. Some signs said, "You're not listening," and 60% of people of color are in prison, etc., etc. Jenkins, who raised his fist during the national anthem, was among the Eagles players who indicated the Eagles would not attend the ceremony after they won the Super Bowl. Jenkins' lack of words became a theme in the locker room, where roughly 75 reporters of national as well as local had left without many answers. Players would not go into detail about the conversations involving the White House trip or their thoughts of President Trump himself. What else is new? All right, continuing on here. Okay. 49ers linebacker Reuben Foster leads no contest to misdemeanor weapons possessions. However, he still faces a punishment from the NFL for legal issues. Sources told ESPN yesterday that the league is still mulling over multi-game suspensions for Foster. The possibility still remains as Foster's off-season issues are examined under the league's personal conduct policy of substance abuse, as Foster went through a legal process of 2 off-season arrests. The NFL continued to say it was monitoring the situation. Warriors coach Steve Kerr said there was a chance that Andre Iguodala did play as well as he did. He did miss, as he missed 6 games prior to that after suffering the bruised left knee in Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals. Before that, he went through a full workout and sprinted for the first time since last Saturday. Sources did tell Chris Haynes of ESPN, when approached after the Warriors, after beating the Cowboys in Game 2, Iguodala said, "I'm ready to play in Game 3, but he also aimed to play in Games 1 and 2, and before that he said, well, we'll just see. Well, and the rest, of course, is history, as he did play in Game 3. Eagles coach Doug Peterson had expressed his disappointment that the Eagles would not be taking part in the White House ceremony to celebrate their Super Bowl victory. But he did try to push through the controversy after President Trump had canceled the visit and accused the Eagles of pulling a political stunt. This is going to be a blanket statement and will not discuss the matter any further, saying that in a news conference on Tuesday. That did not stop the questions. That did not stop the questions about the canceled trip from being asked. The Nova Care auditorium was filled with members of national media. His news conference was carried live over several cable news networks. Peterson joked about it and said, "It's great to see so many showing up for OTA sessions. Aha." Peterson was the first to address the media since White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders said she sensed a lack of good faith from the Eagles during discussions leading up to the event and charged them with pulling a political stunt by telling the White House on the day before the scheduled event a small number of players would attend. That's fine, Peterson said. When he said we redescended on the remarks, I am not discussing it over that. And what you've seen and heard is enough. Yeah, my sentiments exactly. All right. Nationals pitcher Max Scherzer made history on Tuesday, becoming only the 5th pitcher in Major League Baseball history to strike out 3 batters on 9 pitches. It was the 2nd time in his career that he had done that. This occurred in the top of the 6th on Tuesday. The Nationals faced the Tampa Bay Rays. The last time he had struck out 3 batters was on May 14th of the season. The only other pitchers to do it were Lee Grove, Sandy Koufax, Nolan Ryan, and the big goon himself, Randy Johnson. Scherzer is the 2nd pitcher this season to do this. Orioles' Kevin Guzman was the other back on April 24th. Since then, they've had an atrocious season. Max leads the majors in strikeouts with an ERA of 1.95 and is the front runner for the Cy Young Award. But he's setting his sights on a different piece of hardware. I wonder what that could be. Could it be for a World Series, maybe? I would think so. The Cy Young, it's only the beginning of June. I think that's a little bit premature. I won't deny his numbers, but I would wait till maybe August before I start thinking Cy Young. Not right now. It's a little bit early. But then again, don't take my word, folks. All right. Sixers owners group, including CEO Scott O'Neill, met for several hours in New York yesterday to find, as they found findings from the pro president of basketball owners, Brian Delangelo, on his firing. League sources told ESPN this is as it has come. According to league sources, the Sixers retained to the firm of Paul and Weiss as they investigated several secret Twitter accounts that were tied to Colangelo and his wife. Oh, boy. And his wife, Barbara. The investigators interviewed Colangelo and his wife separately for several hours on Sunday and Monday. Sources said he had no knowledge of his wife's alleged year plus of unleashed privileged information and attacks on Sixers players, coaches, as well as former rival executives. Sources say the state's ownership group is struggling to separate Colangelo from his wife, as if she intended to post the remarks. Wow. It's unreal.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. All right. Former free agent safety J.J. Wilcox left the 49ers without signing plans to join the New York Jets. According to ESPN yesterday, Wilcox's sudden decision has stunned the 49ers. He agreed to a 1-year term and was meeting with the defensive backs coach before they started practice. Sources told ESPN that Wilcox was expected to fly to my home state of New Jersey to sign with the Jets. To sign with the Jets. The Jets returned both starters at safe, promising second-year players Jamal Adams and Marcus May, but sees Wilcox as a player who would be able to provide depth and play in 3 safety packages. Wilcox could be insurance for May if he has a setback. May is not taking part in OTA practices, but is expected to be in training camp. The Steelers released Wilcox on April 30th after selecting 2 safeties on the night of the draft. Just can use some good news after getting our draft pick. As we mentioned, neither team who wins the NBA championship will visit the White House. That's said by LeBron. Neither will accept an invite. This, according to a news conference held by LeBron yesterday. President Trump rescinded the Eagles' invite to the White House after learning many of the players would not attend. ESPN has reported that a large number of Eagles players decided not to attend, including most, if not all, black players. The NFL reported that fewer than 10 players were expected to attend. James was very vocal about when the Warriors were not invited to a possible trip to the White House by President Trump. Okay, it's now an empty net goal. 1:57 to go here. Capitals up 4-3 over Vegas. Oh boy, this is getting really good. Hang on to your seatbelts, folks.
Icing against Washington.
Icing, great. Right now, back to the baseball scores. Bottom of the 8th right now. The Astros lead the Rangers in the Texas two-step, 5-1. 2 out, nobody on. Peacock is pitching in. Gallo is batting. And if this holds up, he'll be proud as a Peacock. Oh, I have a game on NBC for crying out loud. You know? Sorry. Bottom of the 4th right now, the Royals and the Athletics are tied at 1 with 1 out, nobody on. Hamill is pitching in. Chapman is that bad. I believe that's all the games are incomplete. Yes, they are. Everything else is in play, and we have now a minute 49 to go in regulation between the Caps and the Knights. If nobody minds, somebody made up a clock management mistake. Oh my goodness. Oh. All right, I'll turn back over to you.
All right, that's going to do it for the post-game edition. We'll be back tomorrow at either 10:30 or 11. Yeah, it's just NBC's malfunction. The clock. There's a clock. There's a game clock somewhere on the scoreboard.
In soccer, they would do it down the field.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that's what the official time is kept.
Yep. Before we sign off, we want to remind everyone to share this episode and our entire podcast on social media and have their friends share that as well, because we want to tell them that the Michigan Sports Truth podcast is in search of a wider audience that is fans of sports. So please spread the word about the Michigan Sports Truth podcast on Spreaker, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts via iTunes, its Facebook page, and its Twitter handle at Michigan_Truth. For Louis Tenore, I'm Taylor Phillips. Follow me on Twitter at DT2Phillips. Thanks very much for listening, downloading, and sharing TTFN. Ta-ta for now.
Good night, folks.